Hey fellas, Dan Brokos from Faucet Tactical Tridicon Pro staff out here filming another episode of Training Tips for Tridicon. Today we're going to talk about the design of the RMR and SRO and how the evolution came about. We're going to put him in the back for now, RMR HD. We'll get to him. But where's this information coming from? The guys who built it. They're still around through the evolution of all these, and knowledge is power, and it's good to know the evolution of these optics and how they came about as the end user. Let's start with RMR. Bottom line, it was built around brute force for the military and law enforcement. A red dot optic years ago that they could punish, beat up, and it would still last. And the housing has done that exactly. The bottom line is this: the housing was really not built around acquiring your sights rapidly. It really wasn't. There's very little reference built into the housing for alignment of your red dot on your presentation. And I'll tell you, to be honest, the learning curve is a lot steeper with this RMR compared to an SRO. Now we get to the SRO. Why was this thing built? Well, this thing was also built for law enforcement, military, but it was also built for the competitive shooter. And humans like symmetry. You can see the difference in housing. And I got almost a perfect circle when you look through this, and kind of a square with bat wings. Made for dropping and other things like that. But man, our eyes almost go through a tube effect when we draw this SRO and present it. Hey, that dot is right there, and it's actually got a built-in front and rear sight, so that thing's aligned, almost like iron sights when you whip it out for the draw. And that tube effect really dials you in on the windage and elevation when you draw from that thing. So we got a built-in index on this thing. Now, we almost come to our RMR HD. We got a kind of a combination of all three of these. Yes, this has a bigger sight window, but it looks the same as my RMR. It looks very similar to my SRO. I would say the technology in this far outweighs these two, but the bottom line is I'm still a little bit faster with my SRO, slightly compared to my RMR HD. I'm the slowest with the RMR as far as my presentation going. But if Dan had to pick one, man, I'd choose all three. But at the end of the day, I like the technology, and this is built around. They're all great optics. But bottom line is, hey, put in the reps, fellas. This is probably the easiest learning curve. This is pretty easy, but I still rate it below the SRO for me, personally, on speed and acquisition of the targets. And of course this, but they all can work for you because I shoot all three.